what like changed for you after all of that actually did open you up and find your individual path to spirituality?
So I've been thinking about this question kind of all day, and so I've always been kind of open into the realm of spirituality because my mom was very into meditation and crystals. We always had like incense burning in our house and all that type of stuff. And I remember there was this one time when I was really little and my mom was meditating and I was like, what are you doing? Like, I'm like 7 or something. And she's like, I'm meditating. And I was like, but I don't understand. And she was sitting there and she was like showing me how to meditate. And I remember I got like, I almost felt like she was sitting there and then she wasn't there anymore. She went into a different state. And I was like, Mom, like Mama. And I like went really close to her, like really close to her face. And then she scared me and she was like, bah! And I was like, oh my God. And it was like, I just remember that so clearly. And I was like, what is that? And I was always kind of curious about it. And I didn't really get into any of that like until I would say my sophomore year.
Of high school?
Yeah, sophomore year of high school. When I started experimenting with psychedelics and stuff like that. And I had my best friend at the time. She lived with me and her boyfriend lived with me. Like, he just would come over all the time. So he essentially lived with us too. Yeah. And so we were experimenting with, you know, weed and shrooms and other things. And we started getting really deep into certain conversations where we could just feel, I mean, I don't know if you've ever done mushrooms, but you can just feel the earth being alive. You can feel the earth alive. And since I've done those things, I can feel those vibrations sober. Because I've tapped into that type of frequency, I can now access it being completely sober. And it brought me to a point where I was like, okay, there's got to be a deeper purpose here. Like, I'm not just sitting around doing these things, going through all these shit things, going through all these great things, whatever it is. I'm not doing all this for no purpose. And, you know, I started dabbling in meditation, but didn't really know what I was doing, but like started trying. And then I didn't really get into fully like, oh, I'm spiritual until like I would say the last like 6 years of my life. And it's really been like friends and like friendships that have gotten me into that space. And then I had a boyfriend when I was in college, and him and I would just like, we had like psychic abilities and we would like read each other's minds. And I know this all like sounds really crazy, but it really like, I was like, okay, like this is all a little bit much. There's got to be something else, like the little coincidences that happen and the little things that are completely unexplainable, that there's got to be some higher power showing you that. Like, so my Ladybug tattoo that I have right here, I was with my boyfriend in college and I just thought, just like popped up into my head. And I was like, oh, it'd be really cute if someone called me Ladybug as like an endearing term, like baby or sweetheart or whatever. And he just turns around, he had a bong in his hand, right? And he turns around, he goes, hey, Ladybug, do you want this? And I was like, what the fuck did you just call me? And he was like, a ladybug. And I was like, why? Why did you just call me that? And he was like, I don't know, it just popped up into my head. And I was like, what the shit? What the shit? I'm like, that's crazy. And so I got that like a little reminder that the universe works in weird ways, and there's got to be a God, and there's got to be something. And I think, what a sad life. Like, what a sad life if there wasn't something else. I just Amen, yeah. don't believe that it's possible. It exists whether people believe in it or not. You're either tuned in or you're tuned out, but it exists whether you want to admit it or not. Like,
wow, it's so crazy just hearing your story, how much we have in common. I knew that we had a lot in common, but it's really wild how much we do. So I'll go ahead and share my experience with you because it's very similar, which is
exciting.
I'm not shocked, but I'm shocked, you know.